I was originally an internet administrator, but I was deceived into being in northern Myanmar and eastern Myanmar for 3 years. I had a real experience of life and death, and I was lucky enough to return to my home country and be sentenced. I have personally experienced the top 10 tortures in northern Myanmar, such as electric shocks, water prisons, and ants climbing trees. During my 3 years in hell, I witnessed with my own eyes a world beyond your imagination, including poisonous mules, train driving, amputation, live burial, organs, dark web auctions, and various slaves. The saying goes, "Ants roam the north of Myanmar, and demons are everywhere, North Myanmar, there is no return." I will teach you a lesson with blood. Do not go to northern Myanmar, do not go to northern Myanmar, do not go to northern Myanmar. There are no high-paying billionaires there, only bloody killings, there are no little brothers or sisters, only demons and handrails. I also advise those fraudsters to go home quickly. Not coming back, banana fields, dusty places, and shark bellies in the open sea are your ultimate destination. Chapter 1. Being truncated just out of prison. You are listening at novelfull.audio. March 2, 2023. On site of the Diancheng Intermediate People's Court Trial. Defendant Diancheng, guilty of fraud, sentenced to 8 years imprisonment, guilty of illegally crossing borders, sentenced to fixed-term imprisonment. Upon hearing the judge pronounce my name, I looked up slightly, calm as a bottle of water, without any ripples. This outcome has long been foreseen, and from the moment I typed the computer keyboard in northern Myanmar, it was already predetermined. Due to the defendant's significant meritorious performance, it has been decided to execute the sentence of 3 years imprisonment with a 4-year probation. As soon as the word probation was spoken, my heart was shaken. Defendant Zhao Shoshi, guilty of kidnapping, murder, fraud, sentenced to death, deprived of political rights for life. The defendant Ning Likun is guilty of kidnapping, detention, fraud, sentenced to life imprisonment and deprived of political rights for life. The judge on stage read out the verdict. I looked up at the 2 former bosses, no longer as arrogant as before, with their heads drooping and limbs limping. If it weren't for the help of the law enforcement officers, it would probably have turned into mud long ago. Damn it! You're so cowardly. I cursed in my heart, feeling inexplicably good. 2 hours later, the verdict of 126 people was finally read, and everyone had their own fate either in cages or peanuts. After completing the probation procedures, I had just walked to the lobby when suddenly the sound of iron tools mopping the floor came from behind. I turned my head and found a group of people approaching. They were wearing yellow coats, silver bracelets, drooping their heads, and being escorted by prison guards towards the police car outside the door. Upon closer inspection, the sound was made by the anklets of 2 former bosses. At this moment, they had already lost their former charm and only had a face of despair that turned to ashes. I sighed for a moment. Diancheng. Just as I was thinking about it, suddenly someone called me from behind. Arrive. I was so scared that I instinctively straightened my waist and stood at attention. After 3 years of living in the Myanmar North Park and 6 months of detention, I have developed a conditioned reflex. I'm scared of you. You're already free, and I'm not your discipline anymore. Don't be so restrained. The speaker is Li Guanjiao from the detention center. He walked up to me and first gently grabbed my arm with his hand, then kindly asked. What are your plans after you go out? Are you going back to your hometown or Shenzhen? When in the detention center, Li Guanjiao was very strict, and he usually heard the sound of training. Today, for the first time, he heard such a peaceful speech. Go home. Hearing Li Guanjiao's peaceful voice, my nervous heart also relaxed. If you are not in a hurry to return to your hometown, can you do me a favor and stay in Diancheng for a while? Li Guanjiao's voice was filled with inquiry. Stay in Diancheng. Don't you need to report to the Judicial Bureau of your hometown? You don't have to go to your hometown, as long as you agree, I'll help you with the procedures. Li Guanjiao is very certain. After all, my hometown is where I grew up, and both the place and the people are familiar. In Linsang, except for the place where I was detained for 6 months and then tried, there was nothing to eat, live, or work. Li Guanjiao seemed to see my thoughts and continued, "Don't worry, I have arrangements for your food, accommodation, and work." And then continue to talk, "As far as I know, you no longer have many relatives in your hometown. If you go back, it may not be easy to find a job. My wife is a cadre from the Judicial Bureau. They are currently conducting anti-fraud propaganda activities and need someone who has personally engaged in fraud to speak up." He knew there was such a person in our detention center and insisted that I find one. But they are all in detention and cannot come forward to speak up. I thought about it over and over, so I thought of you. You are now relatively free, and have also been involved in telecommunications fraud. You are very clear about their tricks, so it would be perfect for you to go. Of course, this volunteer is not in vain, with a daily subsidy of approximately 200 yuan. Although I don't earn money every day, I can still guarantee 300 to 400 per month. Although this amount of money may not be enough to make a living, it's not a problem for me at the moment. Would you be willing to help me with this? I hesitated. I don't mind the low subsidy. 3 years of purgatory life in northern Myanmar have long made me realize that there are not so many easy and high-paying jobs or opportunities for overnight wealth in the world. There is no such thing as pie falling from the sky. If there is, it can only be a trap. I have a correct assessment of my abilities and know how much salary I can earn. What I hesitated about was that those 3 years of purgatory-like life had already left a huge shadow in my heart. I don't know if bringing back those past memories will break my mindset. Electric shock, water dungeon, whipping, ants climbing trees, blood slave, human being, milkman, ex-slave fingers severed, heads popped, buried alive, even organ trafficking. These scenes that I never imagined in reality and dared not film in movies, during the 3 years I was trapped in northern Myanmar, were precisely the norm that I had to face every day. Even though it has been more than half a year since I returned to my home country, these scenes still linger in my mind for a long time, unable to sleep at night. If there is no taboo, that is true or false. It's okay, if you don't want to go, I'll just find someone else. I know it would be difficult for you to suddenly work in an unfamiliar place with a low salary. Besides, you have also suffered a lot over there. It must be uncomfortable for you to reminisce about what happened there. Seeing that I had not agreed for a long time, Li Guanjiao quickly changed his mind to ease the embarrassment. I'm willing to go. Li Guanjiao has already spoken for this reason, and there is no reason to refuse. Besides, 3 years of torture have not been able to kill me, and can I still be scared by memories? I made up my mind and had just agreed to Li Guanjiao when suddenly someone behind me called me. Cheng de Shang. I turned around and saw that it was Captain Chow of the criminal investigation team in Sangyuan City. He was one of the leaders of the fraud gang that captured us across the border at that time. We got to know each other through his cousin in Shenzhen, and in the end, we passed on the evidence of the gang's crimes to him, and finally caught up with this fraud gang. I smiled all over and quickly responded, "Hello, Captain Chow." Captain Chow walked up to me and reached out his arm to shake my hand. I was flattered and quickly responded. Speaking, a pair of big hands tightly grasped me, strong and powerful. "Congratulations. You're one step closer to complete freedom." Captain Chow held his hand while congratulating me. "Thank you, Captain Chow. Without you, I might never be able to return to my country." This is indeed my true words. I can't say that. If you hadn't come up with a way to transmit information through virtual currency trading, we wouldn't have been able to solve this case so quickly, nor could we have conducted cross-border joint law enforcement against these criminals. Captain Chow surprisingly became polite. "What I'm doing is just my job, what you're doing is saving people. I am very sorry about what Captain Chow said. Alright, why bother chatting around here? What's up with you? Li Guanzhou next to him spoke. It's still us, Professor Li, who is smart. I do have something to ask you for. Captain Chow began to turn his face around and jokingly spoke to Li Guanzhou. Look at your virtue, there must be nothing good about it. Let's talk about it. Li Guanzhou and Captain Chow are very familiar with each other, and there is no extra courtesy, so they directly get to the main point. Lend Zheng Deshang to our criminal police team for use. I have something to ask him for help with. Zheng Deshang has already agreed to go with me to do anti-fraud propaganda. What kind of talent does your criminal police team lack? How can they compete with me? Li Guanzhou learned about Captain Chow's purpose and clearly expressed some displeasure in his words. Hey! You don't know, I can't do anything either. Now that the epidemic has been lifted, there have been more telecom fraud cases. Our bureau originally had fewer internet police officers, but now we are even more busy. These days we have received a case that is similar to the methods used by Zheng Deshang's gang, which also utilizes onion routing networks and blockchain technology. Just in time, the online police in the bureau couldn't find time to help, so I thought of Zheng Deshang and wanted him to help me find a breakthrough. Captain Chow spoke with a helpless expression on his face. It's important for you to solve cases on your end, isn't it important for me to promote anti-fraud? If we don't promote, no matter how much you can catch, you won't be able to catch it. Li Guanzhou is also unwilling to let go. Why don't you understand 4, 5, 6 without distinguishing between severity? You don't understand 4, 5, 6. They have already promised me, and you came over to snatch people. I've never seen you handle things like this before. The smell of gunpowder between the two grew stronger and they clashed with each other. I'll help both of you with your help. Watching Captain Chow and Li Guanzhou arguing, I quickly persuaded them to fight. After hearing what I said, the two finally stopped arguing. When there are anti-fraud propaganda activities, I volunteer. When there are no propaganda activities, I go to the criminal police team to help. Is this okay? After speaking, I looked at the two of them. Look at you, a big tutor doesn't understand things as well as a child. In the end, Captain Chow did not forget to say a word to Li Guanzhou. Cut. Li Guanzhou ignored him. The two of them were able to quell the war. In theory, Captain Chow has been of great help to me, and I should prioritize his busy schedule. However, Li Guanzhou was the first to greet me, and I have already agreed and cannot go back on my word. That's unacceptable to you, Li. And I cannot refuse Captain Chow's request, as it cannot be justified by the situation. I can only agree to both without offending either. After Captain Chow left, Li Guanzhou unexpectedly pulled me to his house for dinner. At the dinner table, Li Guanzhou's wife Li Saw surprisingly gave me an amazing suggestion. Go write an anti-fraud novel. Her reason is, nowadays, young people enjoy reading novels. If I post my experiences on the novel website, or I can adapt the scene I experienced into animation and send it to TikTok. The anti-fraud effect will definitely be better. I agree with her viewpoint. But I don't even know a basket of big characters. When I was in school, my Chinese language never reached the standard. Can I really write novels? No problem, just write according to the facts you have experienced. Take a look at this. Li Saw said as she opened the novel app on her phone and found several novels about northern Myanmar for me to read. I simply flipped through it. I'll go. I should be able to write novels like this. My real experience is much livelier and more bizarre than what is written in novels, and it definitely looks good when written. Then I swiped TikTok again and found that someone was making a short video on the internet, fooling the girl to punch in at the male model restaurant in Thailand. Some people also post videos of the scenery of Thailand and Myanmar, boasting about the beautiful scenery there and offering a spontaneous trip. But the background in their video is clearly the infamous Golden Triangle. I'll go, isn't this the same routine as the old Burmese brothers, Lee Sai-gao, and Miss Burmese, Jiaruan? I can't bear it anymore. I can't let these people continue to deceive and defraud Chinese people on the internet, which suddenly aroused my creative desire. Do whatever you say. I opened my phone and downloaded an Orange Melon coder, starting my coder career. Chapter 2. Great Achievements, No Achievements in One Life. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Although my name contains 2 characters, Diancheng, and also includes my father's expectations for me, my later growth has nothing to do with these 2 characters. My father's family was poor when he was young, and he didn't get married until he was in his 40s. Later, Grandma looked really anxious and took out her life savings to ask someone to buy a wife for her father in Yunnan. I was born the next year. Grandma was so happy to see her daughter-in-law give birth to a handlebar that she couldn't close her mouth. Finally, someone inherited the throne in the family, and her money was not in vain. But the honest father only knows how to work every day and doesn't know how to make his wife happy. When I was 3 years old, my daughter-in-law was sweetly coaxed into bed by the bachelor next door, old Wang, and then took her away to pursue a happy life. My grandmother really can't afford to buy a new wife and can only take care of me personally, living a difficult life. At the age when I was in school, my family was so overwhelmed that my father had to go to the south alone to work. Without my father's discipline and my grandmother's indulgence, I became a wild child that no one cared about. In junior high school, I spent years lingering in internet cafes, indulging in the world of gaming and becoming a standard internet-addicted teenager. Finally, I made it to vocational high school, and I once again became one of the mentally challenged guys. My standard image includes arm tattoos, colorful pot tops, tight pants, and shiny bean shoes. Every day, either there is a dynamic social shake in a corner of the street, or there are ghost fires blazing everywhere in the middle of the night. Of course, there are also spirited girls in the back seat. In his sophomore year of high school, his father had an accident at a construction site where he worked. He not only lost his life, but was also compensated by the unscrupulous boss. Without a source of livelihood, my grandmother began to fall ill again, and I began to realize that I couldn't continue to live like this. So, I began to focus on my studies and prepare to go out to work early. The principal promised us that as long as we study with them, we will be assigned jobs after graduation. I learned network technology and dreamed that I would be assigned to an internet factory and become an IT elite. Then marry Bai Fume and become a winner in life. Not to mention, by graduation, not only did my grades far ahead, but I also became an outstanding graduate and even took the stage to receive a trophy. I am even more convinced that my dream will soon come true. Before issuing our graduation certificate, the principal told us to arrange for us to intern in Shenzhen immediately. I am so happy that I can finally enter the internet factory. It is no longer far from the dream of IT elites. But when we arrived in Shenzhen, we were dumbfounded. The place where I worked as an intern was not a big internet factory. I was originally assigned to go to the electronics factory to screw. After discovering being deceived, I want to go back. The HR supervisor said that if you go back now, you won't be able to obtain your graduation certificate. I have no choice but to stay. But who would have thought that working in an electronics factory was really tough? Wearing airtight dust-proof clothing every day, working for over 10 hours, receiving orders, and having to work overtime throughout the night. The most unbearable thing is that you have to set a frequency and time for going to the bathroom every day. Even if you make a small mistake, you will still be pointed at and scolded for a long time. What's scary is that the workers secretly spread rumors that someone from the neighboring factory jumped off the building because they couldn't bear the pressure. Oh my God! A job that earns one's life but doesn't cost one's life cannot be done. So, I couldn't bear it anymore. I had an argument with the leader and ran back to my hometown. I went to the principal to argue and ask why he lied to us. As soon as I entered the office, I saw the HR manager of the electronics factory giving the principal a red envelope. As soon as I saw it, I couldn't hold back my anger and came up to give the principal 2 big teasers. The result can be imagined. Not only was he fired, but he also didn't receive his graduation certificate. I am returning to Shenzhen, hoping to find a job on my own based on my abilities. But the fact is cruel. What I can find are jobs such as screwdrivers, car washers, and waiters, which have nothing to do with my major. Finally, I ran to the computer company in Huiqiangbai for an interview. I think the job positions here will be closer to my dream of becoming an IT elite. The positions offered to me by the computer company are only sales and after sales. The so-called sales are nothing more than using gimmicks of high configuration and low price on the street to lure half-understood customers to the store. Then inform the customer that the machine model he selected online is currently out of stock in the warehouse, and let the customer see other models of machines with the same configuration. If the customer insists on choosing the model of machine they have chosen, they intentionally cause that model of machine to malfunction and then claim that this machine is unstable in operation. So he took the opportunity to promote other models of machines. Little did they know that the price of this model of machine is much cheaper than the model chosen by the customer online. The customer was deceived by the group and bought the model of machine recommended by the sales team, but ended up spending a lot of money in vain. Some customers understand later and come to the store to argue, but in the end, they cannot take advantage of it. Even reporting to the police is useless. These can only be considered as economic disputes, and the police cannot manage them. Finally, customers can only eat huanglian in silence. The so-called after-sales service actually means having the driver drive and deliver goods everywhere, becoming a true mover. The salary that can be given is not as good as 1/3 of that of a porter. In a fit of anger, he quit his job and continued to wander. That's how I wandered around Shenzhen for several years. There were dozens of job changes, but as a result, I didn't earn any money and didn't learn any skills. So he started to completely ruin it, just eating and waiting to die. Until one day, I came to Longhua district in Shenzhen and wandered around the Sanhe talent market near Jingle New Village. I met someone here who opened the door to a new world for me. This person is the handsome brother. That day, I strolled near an internet cafe and saw the words, 1 yuan per hour for internet access, 6 yuan per night for free, prominently written at the entrance. Is it only 1 yuan to go online? I was stunned. At the place where I work, it costs at least 5 yuan per hour to access the internet and 20 yuan per night. Why is it so cheap here? I suddenly became interested and wanted to go in and take a look. Before stepping into the door, with a bang, a person was thrown out of the door. He happened to bump into me and stumbling me. I was about to get angry when the person didn't stand firm and fell directly to the step, unable to get up. At this moment, a man in his 40s who was not tall and had a thin body walked out of the room. He arrived at the foot of the stairs, completely ignoring the symptoms of the person who had fallen to the ground. When he went up, he kicked fiercely and cursed loudly. "Damn it, you slutty guy. You still owe me internet fees, and now you've damaged my computer. If I can't afford it today, I'll have to kill you." A lot of people gradually gathered around to watch the excitement. I saw the person on the ground holding their head in both hands and shouting non-stop. "Boss, the computer was not intentionally damaged by me. I will do the daily settlement tomorrow and compensate you if I earn any money. Just you hanging hair, hanging at beat every day, doing fart like daily settlements. If I don't take out the money today, I'll have to kill you." The internet cafe owner still refuses to give up. The people around were all watching, but none of them stopped. Seeing the person lying on the ground constantly begging for mercy and rolling, I couldn't bear to watch anymore. I walked down the steps and then said to the internet cafe owner, Boss, didn't he promise to compensate you already? Don't beat him, you broke him, isn't it still not possible to compensate you?" When I heard someone talking, the internet cafe owner stopped moving and looked up at me. Just as I was about to open my mouth, it seemed like I was going to curse, but I didn't say anything. He said without getting tired. "This matter has nothing to do with you. Mind your own business. People like them are the scum of society, they die early and seek benefits." What do you mean by social scum? If someone does a daily settlement and wears shabby clothes, it's social scum. If you have a serious job and wear good clothes, it's not true. Although I'm not taller than him, I don't have much advantage in physique. But he still showed the same aura as a social and spiritual young man he used to be, and angrily retorted. "You." Although the internet cafe owner was not convinced, he saw the tattoo on my arm and that aura, so he still suppressed the fire. "Since you're pretending to be a hero," he broke the computer. "You can compensate him for it." Although the internet cafe owner may be a bit hesitant, he still refuses to let go. "Okay, compensate as you please. How much does your computer cost?" 8,000, what? 8,000, the value of an internet cafe's computer is 8,000. I stared at the internet cafe owner and asked. Chapter 3. Hanging Bee, Invincible in the World. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yes, my computer is worth 8,000, so I can only compensate for this amount. The internet cafe owner, of course, was not convinced and told me with a straight neck. I ignored him and helped the person lying on the ground up, then walked towards the internet cafe. When I arrived at the internet cafe, I searched around but couldn't see where the broken computer was. Then, I asked the cafe owner. "Where's the computer?" "There it is." The boss pointed to the table behind the bar. I walked around the bar to the back and saw that both the host and monitor were placed on the table. I glanced and my nose was almost crooked. Damn it, can this computer be worth 8,000? If it could be worth 8,000, it would be worth 8 years ago, and now it is estimated to be worth 800. That appearance looks the same as the computer I used to play at an internet cafe in middle school. I picked up the screwdriver from the table and then turned to the internet cafe owner and said. "Are you sure this computer is worth 8,000? "It's worth 8,000. The internet cafe owner may have dodged in his eyes, but he still refuses to give up. I ignored him, opened the computer case, and unplugged the memory. Wipe away the dust on it and see the year on the fragile label, with the 10 mark marked with a tick. Take a look at the company name on the fragile label again, Honghu Technology. Oh, what a coincidence. I just worked in this company last year and there is still the boss's phone number on my phone. Your computer was worth 8,000 8 years ago, right?" I shook the memory module in my hand and asked the internet cafe owner. "No matter when it's worth 8,000, I think it's still worth 8,000 now." "Okay, let me call and ask Mr. Sun Honghu, who sells your machine, to see how much your computer is worth now." "Do you know Sun Honghu?" The internet cafe owner looked at me in surprise. I ignored him. "How about this? Let's call the police now and have them judge us to see if your asking price is reasonable." I took out my phone and looked like I was ready to call the police. All right, boss, don't bother the police anymore. How much is this computer worth? Just tell me the number, that's about it." The internet cafe owner finally gave in. "All right. Let me help you see if this computer can be repaired. If it can be repaired, you can spare that person once. If it can't be repaired, I'll buy a new one to compensate you. Do you think it's okay? I also take it as soon as it's good." "It's okay. Seeing that you know Mr. Sun's face, just make sure it's done." The boss agreed. I unplugged the graphics card and memory from the host, but after searching for a while, I couldn't find the eraser. So he vigorously rubbed his golden finger a few times with his hand, then reinserted it back into the host, but the host still didn't work. I lowered my head, got close to the computer host, wiped the dust off the motherboard with my hand, and carefully observed it, feeling confident. I then moved the monitor to the vicinity of other hosts and plugged it in to see the specific situation. It was found that every time the switch was pressed, the monitor could light up an image and then immediately turn off. Unable to stably output images. I asked the boss for a soldering iron and asked him to send someone to a nearby electrical components store to buy some capacitors back. Then remove the high-voltage board from the computer motherboard and LCD display, and start replacing the capacitors. After a series of 3 to 5 division operations, I replaced the capacitor, plugged it in, and turned it on. The results were all okay. Liangzi, you're so awesome. The internet cafe owner was fooled by my dazzling operations and exclaimed with a thumbs up. At this point, the person I saved has already rested. He walked up to me, took a cigarette from his ear, and handed it to me. Brother, thank you, come and have a cigarette. Looking at his dirty hands and the smoke with his filter covered in dirt, he didn't dare to pick it up. I quickly took out my Yushi cigarette from my pocket and then declined, saying, I'm not used to smoking other cigarettes, why don't you try this one? Yushi. That's great. I've been smoking cigarettes for a long time and haven't tasted the taste of Yushi. The person put his own cigarette back in his ear and reached out to take the cigarette I handed him. My name is Wang Chuang, and they all call me handsome brother. And you? Xiao Sa-gu took a deep breath of his cigarette, then slowly exhaled his cigarette ring and spoke leisurely, his face full of contentment. He said his name is Wang Chuang, but in fact, no one knows what his name is. Because he sold his ID card for 80 yuan, no one can verify his real name. Although he doesn't have money, he is more open-minded in both his work and money, so he is known as the handsome brother. These are all things I only learned later. Oh, my name is Jing Diancheng, call me Diancheng. I said my name. Let's go, Diancheng. Yen didn't invite you, I invited you to eat noodles. Xiao Sa-gu said, picked me up and left. We turned left and arrived at a place called Shuangfen Noodle Restaurant. The noodle shop is not very large, only over 20 square meters, with walls blackened by smoke and 3 or 4 tables placed. Boss, 2 bowls of shredded meat noodles. Clear soup or with eggs. The boss looks over 50 years old and sounds like people from Hunan. A bowl of clear soup, 1 bowl with 2 eggs. Not long after, the boss brought the noodles up. I'm sorry, Diancheng. I've been in a beat status these days. When I start working tomorrow and earn money, I'll treat you to a good meal. Xiao Sa-gu pushed the egg side to me and apologized. After speaking, he picked up his phone, clenched his fist in his left hand and formed a shadow with the noodles, then began to gulp down heavily. Seeing his actions, I felt a daze on my face. Does this bowl of noodles need to be posted on social media to show off? What's even more strange is that not only Brother Xiaosa, but also the guest at the neighboring table who ordered a bowl of chicken leg noodles, took photos in the same posture as Brother Xiaosa, and then started eating. Is it necessary to hold such a ceremony when eating here? I am at a loss for understanding. But seeing how handsome brother was eating so well, I couldn't help but swallow and spit. I quickly picked up my chopsticks and started eating. But as soon as I put the noodles in my mouth, I realized that the taste was different from what I had imagined. It was clear soup with little water and had no taste at all. I took 2 bites and couldn't eat anymore, so I ate 2 eggs and threw the rest aside. Watching the handsome guy eating, I was puzzled. Is this noodles so fragrant? It's been so many days since I last ate. In no time, Xiao Sa-gu finished his bowl of noodles and didn't even have any soup left. He wiped his mouth and asked me. Diancheng, why don't you eat? I'm not very hungry. I'm full. Hey, aren't you wasting food? There's so much left. That's what I left over from eating, it's not hygienic. I haven't finished speaking yet, Brother Xiaosa has already taken the leftover noodles from me and continued to eat them in large bites. In a while, he also eliminated the remaining bowl of mine. He put down his bowl, let out a burp, wiped his mouth and patted his stomach, and then said leisurely. "You're so full. Comfortable. Can't you get used to our noodles dish?" Xiao Sagu asked me. "It's okay. Until now, I have been listening to the two words hang bi all afternoon, but I still haven't figured out what these two words mean. My mind is full of confusion." Perhaps seeing the confusion on my face, Brother Xiaosa began to explain to me. "It seems that you have never hung a beef before. You don't even know how to hang a beef 3-piece set, do you? What is a hanging beef 3-piece set? I am even more confused." Chapter 4. Mixing into the Sanhe Divine Circle. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Hangbi.side, Hangbi.water, Hangbi.smoke. Seeing my confused appearance, Xiaosa continued to say, "I can't explain it to you either. So, you can search on Baidu or go to Baidu's Sanhe Dashintiaba to see, and you'll understand everything." I picked up my phone and searched online. At this moment, I realized that Xiaosa Gu was a member of the Sanhe deity group, and I also understood the meaning of their punching and taking photos before meals. I only do daily work, eat a bowl of hanging bee noodles from Shuangfen Noodle Restaurant for 5 yuan, smoke a red double happiness hanging bee cigarette for 50 cents per stick, and drink a large bottle of Qinglan hanging bee water for 2 yuan per bottle. A group of people who work for a day, play for 3 days, wander around internet cafes, collective dormitories, and even the streets, are affectionately known as the Three Harmony Gods. I didn't expect that one day I would find spiritual resonance with such a group of people. Boss, on credit. After finishing the noodles, Xiaosa greeted the boss and walked out. "I need it." The boss agreed without even looking up. These Three Harmony Gods have eaten this meal, and they don't even know where their next meal will be. The boss actually accepts the debt, which is really a cruel person. This place is really wonderful. As we walked out of the noodle shop, Brother Xiaosa asked me. "Cheng, where are you going later?" "I don't know yet, I'll take a look. If there's nothing else, I'll be back in Bowen later." "Alright then. Give me your phone number, and when I finish my daily income in the next few days, I'll call you and treat you to delicious food and fun." Upon hearing that Brother Xiaosa asked for his phone number, I took out my phone and said to him. "What's your phone number?" "I'll call you. 13752. Xiao Sa Go reported his phone number. I picked up my phone and dialed it. Xiao Sa hung up his phone and saved the number. "Alright, I've memorized it. I'm going to the Hisense Hotel to rest and refresh myself. I'll go do the daily settlement tomorrow. If I go late, I'll have nowhere to go." After speaking, he shook the ground 3 times and left. Hee, Hisense Hotel. I couldn't help but burst out laughing as I watched the carefree brother walk with ease. Fortunately, I just checked some information about Sanhe Dashin at the noodle shop. Otherwise, I would have thought he had stayed at some big hotel. In fact, what he said about the Hisense Hotel is actually the outdoor steps of the Hisense talent market. Because when the 3 great gods had nowhere to stay, they often went there to sleep on the floor, so they jokingly called it the Hisense Hotel. After leaving the noodle shop, I began to wander around looking for bus stop signs, preparing to take the bus back to Bowen. Pretty guy. I looked for a voice and saw the internet cafe owner waving at me in the distance. What is this guy looking for me for? He doesn't even want to blackmail me, does he? I pondered in my heart. Liangzi, you made me search for it for a while. The owner of the internet cafe has quickly walked up to me, with a smile on his face. What's going on? I asked alertly, feeling guarded. I just wanted to ask for your help. You're working as a network administrator in my store. After hearing what the internet cafe owner said, I relaxed for a moment. Do you want me to work as a network administrator? My salary is quite high. I need 8,000. I started speaking in his tone. The boss looked embarrassed and pulled out a cigarette with a bitter smile, handing it to me. Liangzi, little brother, it was all a misunderstanding just now. I heard that your accent is from the north. Northerners are all atmospheric, they can't argue with me like that. Come on, smoke. I took it and saw, oh, it's still Huazi. I just resigned from my previous job as a restaurant waiter these days. I came here today to see if there were any better jobs, but I was greatly disappointed. Seeing that the internet cafe owner seemed genuinely sincere and interested, I stopped joking and said to him seriously. How much salary do you give? So, brother, if you come, I'll give you 3,500 yuan, and I'll also include food and shelter. Is that okay? 3,500, I have over 5,000 in Bowen, you gave me too little. I shook my head and prepared to leave. That's great, I'll add it to 4,000 for you, quite a bit. We have free meals and accommodation here, and we're not busy with work. You can also play games online for free. I work as a waiter and also provide meals and accommodation. With your computer's broken configuration, can you still play games? I shook my head and lifted my leg before leaving. The internet cafe owner quickly stopped me and continued to persuade me to stay. Brother, help me out. As you know, all the people online here are cheats who earn very little money and their salaries are too high to afford. Don't worry, if you come to help, I'll give you my newly assembled computer with an i7 processor and a 2080 graphics card. At that time, the RTX 2080 graphics card had just been launched, and the cost of the optical graphics card was just over 5,000 yuan. It seems that the owner of the internet cafe has really invested a lot of money. Playing 3D chicken eating games with this graphics card is really enjoyable. Anyway, I don't have any work to do now, so it's okay to try him out. Besides, having the latest computer games is still very attractive to me. I agreed to the boss's invitation. It's true that every business must be treacherous. After I joined the company, I suddenly understood why the boss had invested so much money to bring me in. His broken computer in the internet cafe has reached its retirement period and often breaks down. If we ask someone outside to fix it, we'll charge him 180 yuan per unit. Over time, the cost has also increased significantly. You came to me as an internet administrator. Not only can you manage internet cafes, but you can also save a lot of money on repairing computers. I really know how to calculate. Forget it, don't argue with him anymore. In fact, I also know that my computer repair skills are just superficial and cannot be brought to the table at all. Anyway, having the best computer to play on, not tiring from work, and earning a salary is not too bad. So, I became the network administrator of the Fugue Internet Cafe near the Sanhe Talent Market. As time passed, I gradually fell in love with this job. Although the salary is not high, the work is easy. I have nothing to do every day, except for sleeping and playing games. Otherwise, it's just chatting with these three great gods and listening to them talk and tell stories. Not only did he meet the iconic figures in the Sanhe Divine Circle. Cool and handsome guy Xiao He, spiritual leader Leather Pants Brother, and the king of records, Mr. Song. In addition, several goddesses in the Sanhe Divine Circle, including Red Sister, Lin Xiao, and Gao Aomei, were also interviewed. As for the job responsibilities, they are simply not too simple for me. In addition to replacing the motherboard capacitor and CPU fan for the computer, it involves plugging and unplugging graphics cards and memory. Later on, I didn't even bother to dismantle the computer case. The machine didn't work properly, so I kicked it up. Blind cats can kill mice, sometimes they can really kick them. If it really can't be repaired, I'll call a guy who specializes in chip repairs for customers, and it'll be done for 20 to 30 yuan. The rest is to make a crystal head and maintain the diskless server. The boss's computer has not been touched since I took over it. The computer hardly shuts down for 24 hours, even if I sleep, I still have the game hanging on the computer. The boss looked at his new computer, which he had bought for over 10,000 yuan, and was tormented to the point where I was exhausted. He was so heartbroken that he couldn't help but suck on his teeth. Seeing me idle and idle all day again makes my teeth itch with hatred. But there's no way, who let me hold on to him. Previously, his diskless system had to pay a service fee to the software vendor every month, but when encountering problems, the software vendor repeatedly refused to provide the service. After I arrived, I searched through all the technical forums online and found a cracked version. I followed the online methods to make random changes and finally successfully deployed it. At this point, the boss saved a significant amount of expenses. Also, at my suggestion, he spent 100,000 yuan on several mining machines and started digging for Bitcoin, Litecoin, Infinity, Dogecoin, Ripple, and so on. I personally handled everything from assembling machines, debugging software, searching for mining pools, to trading and withdrawing from exchanges. He just counts the tickets. That year, the coin market was good, and the boss made a lot of money, smiling and smiling all day long. Watching the boss make money also made me itch. I didn't have the money to buy a mining machine, so I learned to stir-fry coins, but ended up losing everything. In a fit of anger, I stopped speculating and continued to live my mediocre life. Until the appearance of someone, it stirred up waves in my peaceful life, and it was also the beginning of a trap. Chapter 5. Internet Cafe Origins. You are listening at novelfull.audio. One day, I was getting stuck in a chair by my teammates and feeling frustrated while playing LOL. Cough. Suddenly, the sound of QQ adding friends came from the earphones. I didn't want to pay attention to it at first, but when I thought it might be a practice client, I reluctantly clicked on it. I clicked on the message bar and saw a friend's application message. Schweigwa, can you take me to play games together? Behind was a shy smile. At first glance, I saw that I wanted to spend time with practice for free, so I didn't hesitate and closed the dialog box. Just now, when we were playing games in a team, one of our teammates wanted to bring his girlfriend to practice with us. They brought her to the team, but ended up losing 3 games in a row. I am very averse to this now. Cough, cough. The sound of QQ friend application kept ringing in the earphones, and I angrily took off the earphones and turned my head away from looking at the computer. I sat in a chair with my eyes closed to rest. Bang! The door of the computer room was suddenly knocked open, which startled me. Chinga, Chinga, there's a commotion outside. You go and take a look. The one running in was Cashier Xiaomei, the boss's cousin. Let's just argue, these brats never stop arguing. But they will take action soon, it will be troublesome if they break the computer. What's the trouble? If it's damaged, compensate. If you can't afford it, let your brother beat them up. I ignored Xiaomei as I spoke. The computer asked me to fix it, the network asked me to manage it, and the scaffolding asked me to go. I am the network manager, not the boss. Hey! Xiaomei had no choice but to go out and argue on her own. I turned around and kicked the door shut, continuing to smash it. When your dreams come alive, you're unstoppable. Xiaomei had just gone out for a while when her phone rang. I reluctantly took out my phone, and just as I connected it, the boss's roar came from the receiver. You hang your hair. Don't want to get mixed up. The spectrum is getting bigger and bigger. There is a nest of kanji outside. Don't go to see it. The boss's roar made my ears tingle. I took out the phone far away and said, You unscrupulous old man, I'm an internet administrator, not a security guard. Let me persuade you to give me an extra salary. Kick your lungs, I know you're a rooster. Hurry up and take a look, and I'll find you a wild rooster later. Damn it, you unscrupulous old man, why don't you find your sister for me? I hung up the phone. Noisy comes back noisy, scolding comes back cursing. Since the boss has already spoken up, it's hard to justify not taking a look. Arriving at the hall, I saw Brother Xiaosa and Brother Zhuang be tearing and knocking down their computers. These two be-goods have never dealt with each other, they just cut each other off when they meet. I was so angry that I went up and gave each of them a big pussy, then shouted. Stop, if you want to hit, get out and hit me. The two of them looked at me and reluctantly let go of their hands. Pack up the knocked-down computer and test it out without any problems. I scolded them both. I see you two are really itching. Your computer broke and our unscrupulous old man insisted on breaking your legs. It's okay, the computer is broken. Isn't Diancheng reparable? Hee hee. Pull out your buttocks, I'm not here to wipe your buttocks either. I was so angry that I said all my hometown words, so I lifted my foot and kicked both of them. The two of them dodged. Ah Cheng, let's go. I'll ask you to find Red Sister to repair the car. After pretending that Brother B had avoided my feet, he approached me and said mysteriously. Red Sister is the pioneer of goddesses in the Sanhe divine circle, the founder of car repair for S stores, and also the pioneer of car repair knowledge here. Not only is it highly cost-effective, making great gods flock to it, but it is also the female bodhisattva in the hearts of great gods, specially designed to save them from the pain of deep communication between men and women. Upon hearing the words of pretending to be a B. Song, Xiaosagu took out a stack of money from his pocket, shook his head, and then said. Diancheng, don't listen to him. Even if you're invited to repair at Red Sister's place, it's still a group. Follow me, I'll invite you to repair at Gao Ao Sister's place. That's specialized and refined training. The haughty girl has a slender waist, proud eyes, and white lips and teeth. She always appears at a 45-degree angle looking up at the sky on the street corner or alley. She told the gods with a haughty gaze that anything can be lost, only arrogance cannot. She is the pinnacle goddess in the hearts of the great gods, and she is deeply moved by her fearless sacrifice spirit of going to sea as by fume and serving them with care. Isn't it just going out to test drugs and earn those two stinky money? There's nothing to be fooled about. Tomorrow, I'll go to Myanmar to work and make a fortune, and use the money to smash you to death. Brother Beat pretended to be the first to lose the battle. Don't think I don't know what you mean by, fix a car or not. One day, let me catch up with the current situation and you'll have something to look good at. I was pretending that Brother B and Brother Xiaosa were arguing when a voice came from behind. I turned around and saw that it was Police Officer Dong Jihong. Brother B and Brother Xiao were so scared that they dared not speak up and ran away stealthily. Dong Jihong then handed me a laptop. My computer is a bit old and it's running a bit slow. Can you help me see which problem it is? I took the computer and opened it for a brief look, then came up with a solution. There's no big problem, it's just that the memory is a bit small. Just increase it and replace the hard drive with a solid-state one. Okay, you watch and let me know when it's done. How much is it? I'll transfer it to you on WeChat. No need for now, I don't know the specific price of the accessories yet. I will go to Huiqiangbai tomorrow and let you know the price when I inquire about it. Okay. By the way, don't always get involved too much with these cheats. You're a technician, and your identity is different from theirs. Dong Jihong instructed me, then turned around and left. But how could he understand the love and hate relationship between me and these losers? I picked up my notebook and wanted to turn around and return to the computer room. Cheng. Xiaosagu didn't know when he came back again, and then he pulled me and whispered to me. I know where to find the haughty girl. Let's go, you take the lead, and then I'll take care of everything. All the money belongs to me. Sleeping trough, you really come. I was extremely surprised. Of course, such a good guy like us, when did we ever deceive you? Xiaosagu said, pulling me up and leaving. I quickly put the computer at the bar and told Xiaomei that I need to go out for something. Xiaomei looked up and gave me a glance, disdainful as she said. Humph, what's up with you? Why don't you go do bad things with them? You know you're a bad student. Why don't you fix it for him? He definitely won't break it. The handsome brother looked at Xiaomei jokingly. Damn you, mother. Get lost. Xiaomei picked up a bottle of water from the bar and smashed it over. Living poorly is like entering a abalone restaurant without smelling its odor for a long time. No matter how strong the odor is in the toilet, if you stay for a long time, you will definitely not be able to smell it. Of course I am the same. Anyway, I haven't repaired my car for a long time. Someone pays for a treat and is eager to take advantage of it. That's a fool. You can skip meals and sleep, but you can't skip the internet and the car can't be repaired. This is a wise saying in the circle of gods. As a member, one cannot be too detached from the masses. From an image perspective, the haughty girl is very in line with the taste of most men, with a protruding front and a slender waist. I heard that she went to sea as by Fume, providing attentive services to the great gods, and possessing a fearless spirit of sacrifice. I also heard that her car repair skills are top-notch, and her self-created skills are not inferior to the Dongguan-style 36 moves. It is even more said that her deeds have caused a sensation throughout the country, making countless kind-hearted people come from afar to find her and go to the car dealership to learn her skills. Now that the opportunity has arrived, there is no reason not to visit. I was led around by the handsome brother for a long time, and then came to a group of handshake buildings. The handshake building here is over 10 floors high, densely arranged together, blocking the sunlight from shining in. The building is filled with air conditioning, drainage pipes, and spider web-like cables. In the narrow alleyway, it was damp and dim, making people feel extremely oppressive. We looked around for a while but couldn't find the figure of the haughty girl. I was about to scold Brother Xiaosa for being unreliable when two women twisted out from the corner inside. Long hair, low cut, ultra short, black silk, red high heels. They walked over and waved at us. Liangzi, do you want to repair the car? Chapter 6. Silly Girl Blossoms. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiao Sagu agreed. Let's go then, our car dealership is right ahead. Upon hearing handsome brother's answer, the girl raised her eyebrows high and then carried his arm as she was about to leave. The other one also approached me. I want to specialize, is Gao Mei in the car dealership? Xiao Sagu spoke while wiping his hands up and down. Find her, I don't know. Just now, the girl with a gentle smile on her face turned cold and knocked off the salty pig hand of the handsome brother. Why are you in such a hurry? I can have my car repaired by anyone. The problem is that my brother came specifically to find the arrogant girl today. Xiao Sagu turned around and looked at me. Oh, that's it. Alright, you pay the money first, and I'll tell you where the haughty girl is. How much is it? Renovation of 100, refinement of 150. Xiao Sagu took out 300 yuan from his pocket and gave it to the girl, then asked. You can tell me now. The haughty sister has returned to her hometown and asked the honest man to accept the offer. Don't think about it. Aren't you lying to me? If you don't say I'll pay, just tell me where she is. I didn't lie to you. Didn't I tell you she went back to her hometown? I didn't say she was here. You're too unreasonable. Xiao Sagu was so angry that he stared in anger. When your dreams come alive you're unstoppable. They were talking and tugging when my phone rang. I answered the phone and a sound rang from the receiver. What are you busy with? Why don't you reply to messages on QQ? The speaker is the president of our gaming guild. Oh. Busy repairing the car. I didn't see any QQ messages just now. Is there anything urgent? Damn it, you're amazing. You bought a car in Shenzhen. The president is not in Shenzhen and is not a member of the Sanhe God Circle. Of course, I don't know the deep meaning behind what I said about repairing cars. I didn't pick up the conversation and said, "What the hell is going on with you?" "Oh, there are a few netizens who want to hire you as a substitute, and I introduced you to them. They can't add you on QQ, let me ask you what's going on." I opened my QQ on my phone and saw a bunch of requests to add friends in the messages. The QQ prompt sound on the phone was not turned on, and I didn't see any messages. You are such a genius, you are not proactive in making money. Oh, by the way, besides a few QQ accounts that add you as a proxy, there is also a QQ account called Plum Blossom Duo that you can pass and help me take her along, okay? At this moment, I just remembered. It turns out that the person who applied to add accompanying practice friends in the internet cafe was introduced by the president. The president keeps introducing business to me all day, and I can't refuse to receive a free companion training. I just hung up the phone when the handsome guy over there shouted to me. Cheng, the matter of finding the arrogant girl to repair the car today is completely yellow. How about we let these two beauties repair it? You can fix it yourself, I'll go back. I'm not interested anymore if I don't have a haughty girl. I want to quickly go back and serve these new clients for practice. Damn it, you make me double repair it. The engine must explode. From behind came the shouts of the handsome brother, it's okay, the engine won't blow up, probably the gear lever will be bare-skinned. I returned to the internet cafe with a smile. When I return to the internet cafe and finish handling the newly added client's practice, I have approved the friend application of Plum Blossom. Woo-woo. Just after the friend application was approved, Plum Blossom sent me a bunch of crying emojis, densely packed, which made me suffer from intense phobia. Sorry, I didn't know you were introduced by the president. It was too late for you to pass. The other party didn't speak and just sent a photo over. Big eyes, small face with melon seeds, dressed in ethnic minority costumes, both pure and cute. Immediately after, the other party sent a conversation. Isn't it beautiful? Pretty, I quickly answered, both out of my heart and out of courtesy. Isn't it cute? Cute. Do you want to soak it? I want to. Oh, I don't want to. Mouthful, I don't know how to answer. Why didn't it pass in time? I was busy with something earlier and didn't see your application. No, you're lying, you're gay. Is the little girl so explosive now, asking such a question during her first conversation? How did you know? I became interested and deliberately teased her. You see, I guessed it right. When I think about it, you are. How did you guess? Tell me. You admit as soon as you see the photo that I am pure and cute, but I have applied so many times and you just didn't pass. Before, every time I added netizens, it was almost a second. So there's only one possibility, you're just gay and don't like women, hee, I'll go. What kind of brain circuit is this girl? So what if I say I'm not? Impossible, it must be, if it weren't for you proving it. How can I prove it? You send me photos of kiss with your girlfriend. I don't have a girlfriend, can I send a video of someone repairing my car? Being teased by a silly girl has made me lose my composure. How can repairing a car prove this? Seeing the silly girl's question mark all over her face, I dare not continue talking about this topic, otherwise I will have to go off guard and forcibly terminate it. Okay, you're right. Which game do you want me to play with you? Che, just admit it early on, be tough. Of course it's LOL. I heard you've already hit the king, that's why I hit gold. Okay. I'll take you to the upper division. Which position are you playing in? Auxiliary. Then I'll call AD. Who do you choose, hero? Jinkizi. Then I'll choose the challenge stone. I found a golden account, logged in, and started entering the gaming world with her. Although the little girl is very vegetable, she is very agile. I am quick to learn and improve faster than my pig teammates. I feel a great sense of achievement. Unconsciously, we have played 16 games already, and the more we play, the higher it gets. Wait for me to check the time, I'm sorry. It's already past midnight and I haven't finished the training task for today. I quickly told the girl and quickly got offline. The next morning, I was sleeping soundly when a series of annoying phone calls rang in my ear over and over again. I closed my eyes and searched for a while before finally finding my phone. Then, I pressed the answer button and listened to the phone, feeling drowsy as it said. Shuaigua, wake up quickly. Who are you? Hearing the cute and sweet voice on the phone, I had a short circuit in my mind and couldn't remember who it was. Humph, you said you're not gay. I played games with them all day yesterday and forgot so quickly. Upon hearing this, I suddenly realized that it was the girl I accompanied during yesterday's training, Plum Blossom Blossom. I remember, when I went offline yesterday, I left her phone number. Hey, I'm just trying to make myself suffer. I can't even get a good night's sleep. Sister, please, I was practicing on behalf of you yesterday until this morning and just slept for 2 hours. Can you let me sleep a little longer? Then call me Auntie, and I'll let you sleep for another 2 hours. Okay, Grandma, you can let me sleep or call me Ancestor. Hee, great-grandson, go to bed. I'll spare you, Auntie. Oh, what a sin. I threw my phone aside and fell asleep in an instant. Chapter 7. Blossom Returns. You are listening at novelfull.audio. From that day on, I often played games with Duo. I played AD, she played auxiliary, and we cooperated harmoniously, pushing her number from gold all the way to master. When we don't play games, we just chat aimlessly and chat endlessly, staying up all night. Later, I learned her real name, Tang Shuame, of the E ethnic group, who lives in Jinyue Autonomous County, a small town on the southwest border. Because her online name is Plum Blossom Blossom, I don't call her name, but call her Blossom. So, playing games and chatting with her every day gradually became my greatest pleasure. Gradually, in my heart, I developed a liking for her, but due to geographical and personal conditions, I never dared to confess my feelings. Suddenly one day, she told me that she had a boyfriend. Because my boyfriend doesn't like it, he can't play games or chat with me anymore. My mood suddenly hit rock bottom. From that day on, she disappeared completely from my world like a human being, along with the chairman of the gaming guild. I suddenly seemed to understand something. I frantically tried to contact her through phone, WeChat, QQ, Weibo, and other means, but to no avail. I regret it to the extreme, but at the same time, I have no choice but to become more addicted to the gaming world, more deeply bound to the great gods, and numb myself. A day in February 2019. When your dreams come alive, you're unstoppable. I was playing black with my teammates when suddenly the phone rang. I didn't have time to check the caller ID, so I grabbed the phone with my shoulder and answered it without stopping my hands. Shuaigua, can you still play games with me? When I heard that cute and sweet voice ringing in my ear, my heart trembled and the phone suddenly fell to the ground. My mouth was dry and I picked up the phone nervously, stuttering. Can. This voice has disappeared from my world for half a year. It used to be the most concerning place for me in this world, and the only bright light in my dimly lit world. Wait a moment, I will immediately withdraw from this game and take you to the account. Well, okay, I don't need the original WeChat anymore. You can add this phone number to WeChat, and we can chat on WeChat if we have something to do. Putting down the phone, I quickly added Dwedwa's new WeChat account. I flipped through her WeChat moments and found a strange phenomenon. It turns out that she sends some anime head cartoons that she likes, or else she takes a self-portrait in ethnic costumes, which is pure and sweet. Sometimes she also posts live videos of her playing the yuqin, owu, or participating in ethnic minority festivals. Especially the ethnic song, Aegg, that she played and sang with the Moon Chin, as well as the modern song, 1,000 Years in a Moment, that Wu solo played. I never tire of listening to it. And now her social circle has completely lost everything from before. The background is not high-end office buildings or conference rooms, but Western restaurants and high-end hotels. I remember she said herself that she was very tired of the noise and hustle and bustle in big cities. But I prefer the beautiful mountains and waters of my hometown, warm and peaceful. Her selfies have also been replaced with either professional suits or big-name outfits, portraying a professional female image of urban white-collar workers. But I also remember that she once said that she really disliked wearing clothes that bound women's nature. But I like to wear clothes that are colorful, full of pendants, and everywhere they are blinking, freely showcasing the beauty of youth. My current account has fallen back to gold, sob. I was browsing Dwodwa's social media when she sent a message followed by a bunch of crying expressions. This is her habit of chatting. She likes to make expressions full of dialogue boxes, which makes me suffer from dense phobia every time. It's okay, wait for me for a while, I'll find a golden account to take you up the score. I quickly found a golden account and logged in. Which position do you want to play? I asked her. Auxiliary. Then I'll call AD. Who do you choose, hero? Lakis. Didn't you like Jinx before? Although I'm a bit strange, I haven't thought too much about it. It's common to occasionally switch to playing heroes. Then I'll choose the challenge stone. No, I want you to choose Easy. Easy and Laces are a heroic couple. Okay. Although my heart was shaken, I felt that I might have thought too much. Just played one game, Duo said. I don't want to fight anymore, it's boring. Let's chat for a while. Okay. I also saw that Duo was absent-minded and didn't play well at all. It wouldn't be interesting to play anymore. What are you doing now? Are you still working in the Sanhe Divine Circle? Well, yes. After speaking, I felt a bit uneasy all over. I have never felt any embarrassment living here before. At that time, Duo and I agreed that everyone had the right to choose their own life. You are your elite, I am my waste material, this is my own choice, it has nothing to do with others. It feels the same as she doesn't like to work hard in big cities and only likes to stay in that beautiful and peaceful border town. When we chat, she often tells me about the ancient legends of their place. From time to time, sing a folk song that I don't understand, but the tone is very pleasant. Excited, even dance a beautiful ethnic dance for me. I also told her about interesting things in our circle. For example, how Song Chunjiang successfully became the king of records by hanging B for 5 days and 5 nights with a bottle of water. For example, although the cool and handsome guy Xiao He has gone crazy, he never steals or grabs anything. He can't eat enough and even adopts a stray dog, Huang, for example, although the spiritual leader Pai Kue Gu was starving on the street, he still woke up with thunderous words. He would rather starve to death than work. Every time she said these things, Duo would stare with pure and lively big eyes and ask if I was lying to her. When I said it was definitely real people and things, her face was full of disbelief. We talked almost everything and had almost no secrets at that time. But today when I saw Dwodwa's new social media, I suddenly felt pressure and felt that she was far away from me. What are you busy with now? I asked her. The conversation was awkward, but I didn't know how to start for a moment. I work at a game company in Kunming. Does your company also develop online games? Are your games fun? When it comes to games, I have become interested and have also found topics. It's not a large-scale online game, but a type of casual game. It's like a web version of chess and cards, Lianliankan, Mazu, and so on. Do you remember the songs I used to sing a lot? Duo changed the topic as she spoke. Of course, I still keep your self-played and self-sung IEGG on my phone. If you have nothing to do, take it out and listen to it for a while. I don't have the yuechin in my hand now. How about singing it to you once? Of course it's good. I was so excited that I happily opened the video call function on WeChat. But Kiduaduo refused. I was wondering when she sent a voice message. Sorry, Cheng, our boss called me, something's up and I have to go get busy. Let's talk about it another day. Although reluctant, it's hard to say anything when it comes to Duoduo's busy schedule. After chatting with Duo, I was in a great mood and even started humming a song. As I walked out of the computer room, I walked briskly to the lobby and arrived at the bar. I saw Xiaomei busy and flying, so I teased her. Pretty girl. I'll treat you to a drink of honey snow ice city tonight, and then go see a movie. It's really fake, you can't kun me. Xiaomei looked up at me with a slight blush on her face. After hesitating for a moment, she started packing up her things. Let's go now. I'm in kun, you. Seeing that Xiaomei was serious, I quickly refused. Fuck Cheng, you're learning worse and worse now. You're hitting me, I'll kill you. Knowing that I was playing with her, Xiaomei became anxious and her eyes widened in anger. She picked up the screwdriver from the bar and gestured at me. I left with a smile. Chapter 8. Cheng, do you still like me? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Since that day, Duo has never had a formal conversation with me, nor have we played games together. Every time I send her a message, it takes me a long time to reply. The content of the reply is very simple. It means either in a meeting or on a business trip, or in training. Anyway, it's all busy. Slowly, the fire ignited in my heart began to gradually extinguish. Are you free tonight? I want to have a good chat with you. A week later, I was scrolling through practice tasks in the computer room when I received messages from Duo on WeChat. Yes, there is. I am so happy that my words are incoherent. At 8 p.m., after dinner, I will contact you when I return to the dormitory. Duo finished speaking, followed by a shy expression. This expression made me start to daydream. I looked at my watch and found that it was already 4 p.m. I quickly logged out of the game and walked out of the internet cafe to find a hair salon. After finishing a beautiful hairstyle, I ran to a nearby store and carefully selected a clean and handsome set of clothes. Then, I rushed back to the internet cafe and thoroughly rinsed myself in the shower. After finishing all of this, I checked the time and found that it was only 6 o'clock, and the agreed time with Duo had not yet arrived. At this moment, I felt like a little cat had crawled into my heart, restless and wandering back and forth in the computer room. Take a look at the time, sit on a stool, lie down on the bed, and toss back and forth. I felt for the first time that time had passed so long, although it was constantly passing by, every minute was agonizing. During this period, Xiaomei visited the computer room once. Seeing my appearance today and my anxious expression, I felt extremely puzzled and insisted on asking for the reason. I didn't have time to explain these things to her and pushed her out of the door. After finally staying up until 8 o'clock, I saw that there was still no information in Duo's WeChat dialog box. I couldn't help but send 2 words. Are you there? Yes, I just arrived at the dormitory. Wait for me, I'll take a shower, and then we can chat. Duo responds with a message in seconds. Yeah. I snapped my fingers happily. Ding ding. Ding ding. Half an hour later, the sound of WeChat video calls came from the phone. I quickly sat up from the bed and connected the video call. Hi. Cheng. Oh my. You're so handsome today. Duo has put on a light pink silk nightgown, wiping her hair with a towel while greeting me. In the video, I saw that Duo had undergone significant changes, with a lack of moisturization on her face and a hint of purity emanating from her bones. Although she had just taken a shower, she still looked a bit haggard, and her body, which was not already fat, appeared even more emaciated. Seeing such a scene, I felt a little more worried about her. Duo, are you usually busy with work? Why are you so haggard? Not too busy. Our company is currently recruiting people and there have been a lot of things to do. Maybe we didn't have a good rest last night. It's okay, it will be better in a few days. After hearing her say this, I felt a little relieved and started looking for topics. Are you the only one in the dormitory? It doesn't seem like it's big, why do you take the stairs directly into the bedroom? Hee, fool, the house is not small. This is a small duplex, and I live alone. It's very spacious. Come, I'll show you around. Duo has dried her hair and started taking me to visit her dormitory with her phone. Her small dormitory looks small, but living alone is indeed spacious. The first floor consists of a living room, dining room, and restroom, while the entire space on the second floor is made into an open bedroom. After visiting, the overall impression is bright and simple. This is very different from the bedroom style in her previous home. Before, she made the bedroom full and colorful. The whole room is hung with anime posters, colorful national costumes, pendants, and various things of blinking. I always mock her, her bedroom is like a fairy hole. After visiting her dormitory, she threw herself on the bed, sinking her body into the pink blanket, and continued chatting with me on her stomach. Ah Cheng, why are you still living in the computer room? Why haven't you rented a separate house? I'm alone, renting a house is also a waste. Living in a computer room is quite good, convenient and effortless. Why are you still alone without a girlfriend? I'm all mixed up into the three great gods, where did I get a girlfriend? You're lying. You're so handsome and skilled, how could you possibly not have a girlfriend? Isn't Xiaomei interested in you? She spends her days together, whispering in her ear and hair, and you've already slept with her, haven't you? I'm dizzy, this is the real blossoming. She speaks without any restraint, a pure and innocent little girl who dares to say anything from her mouth. I really don't have a girlfriend, and I haven't slept with Xiaomei. If you don't believe me, I'll bring her in as a witness. I'm in a hurry, debating. I'm all in a hurry, how could Xiaomei prove such a thing? Huh, I see you're in a hurry. Just kidding, you're taking it seriously. Duo laughed with trembling branches, the collar of the silk pajamas hanging down, and the spring light inside danced before my eyes. I was attracted by the flowers in the video, my eyes were straight, and 10,000 images appeared in my heart. Seeing my lascivious expression, Duo noticed something unusual and exclaimed, quickly covering her chest. Dead Ah Cheng, you rascal. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I also noticed my loss of composure and quickly lowered my head. To conceal the embarrassment in front of me, I quickly changed the topic. Duo, I want to see you sing and dance. Okay, it's just that there are no ethnic costumes or musical instruments here. I can only dance in my pajamas, and even when I sing, I can only sing solo. It's okay, as long as it's you dancing or singing, I like everything. Duo picked up her phone and went to the bedside, dancing her enchanting body with a clear singing, dancing gracefully in the video. Watching the graceful dance movements in the video and listening to her clear and clean voice, a picture came to my mind. A beautiful border town, filled with a fragrant sea of flowers, a beautiful butterfly is slowly dancing. On the nearby branch, a lark softly sings, echoing in the mountains and forests. I was so engrossed in the music that I finished it all and still froze there. Duo shouted at me for a while before realizing it and couldn't help but praise her. Jump well, sing better. Hey, I can't do it anymore. I haven't sung or danced for a long time, and I've become a lot rusty. Duo was so tired that she was sweating profusely. After wiping off her sweat, she grabbed a bottle of water and drank it gurgling. Duo returned to bed and we continued chatting. While chatting, she suddenly asked me affectionately. Ah Cheng, do you still like me? Chapter 9. The Olive Branch of Game Companies. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The Co Lois Ara Trong Quatrin Lay Text. Chapter 10. Going south to Diancheng. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Cheng, we have succeeded. The next morning, before I even got up, I received a call from Duo, shouting and shouting inside. What succeeded? I was drowsy and didn't realize what Duo was saying. You stupid pig. Duo laughed and cursed. Of course, you can come to our company for an interview. I told my leader about this early this morning, and he also reported it to the headquarters later. Guess what? The headquarters agreed and said they could give you an interview opportunity. Cheng, that's a supervisor position because it's a technical position with a salary of 15,000. Really, although I am now clear-headed, I still cannot believe what Duo said is true. You don't believe in your girlfriend's abilities. You're my boyfriend, can you still deceive you? Well, let me think. I don't want you to think, so I'll make you agree. Do you agree? Besides, they're all your girlfriends. You haven't met them yet, just watched the video, and haven't touched a real person. Duo is acting coquettish on the phone. What you mean is, I can go over and touch you. I deliberately bit my handwriting very hard. Of course. Oh, no, I fell into your trap again, damn Cheng. Duo reacted and was angry on the phone. Not only do I want to touch it, but I also want you to repair the car. I suddenly became lustful and teased many flowers. Rascal, you stinky rascal, I'm ignoring you. Duo hung up the phone, but there was not a hint of anger in her tone. I seemed to see the blossoming on the other end of the phone, blushing with embarrassment. Putting down the phone, I fell into contemplation. In theory, such an opportunity is rare in the world and should be agreed to without hesitation. Whether it's in terms of work environment, salary, job content, or position, this job is like tailor-made for me. But will there really be pie falling from the sky in the world? I have been working in Shenzhen for 3 years and have almost searched for all the jobs I can do, but I have never encountered such a good opportunity. Why did it suddenly appear now? But this job was introduced by Duo, she works in this company. If there is any problem, she will definitely discover it first. She is my girlfriend, you can't lie to me, can you? Duo is so capable and beautiful. If she stays away for such a long time, will she fly, just like last time? Thinking of this, I secretly made up my mind. So I went to the boss and told him about the interview situation at my girlfriend's company in Yunnan. Upon hearing what I said, the boss widened his eyes and said earnestly, Liangzi, I don't want to hinder you from getting rich or finding your girlfriend. But as far as I know, the salary level in Kunming is not much higher than here. Is there anything fishy about them giving you such a high salary? I heard that there are phone fraud companies in the Philippines that specialize in recruiting people in our country now. We villagers have been deceived. My girlfriend's company is from Thailand, not the Philippines, it specializes in making games. Although I tried my best to defend Duo, I still felt a bit uneasy when I heard the boss say so. That's okay. Otherwise, it would be disastrous if I tricked you into becoming a human demon in Thailand. If you come back, I'll call you pretty girl. Damn you, sister. You are the human demon. I cursed casually, but the boss remained silent. Xiaomei was unhappy and glared at me angrily. I curled my lips and quickly slipped away. After chatting with the boss, I had already made up my mind and began to hesitate. Just after lunch, while I was pondering in the computer room, Duo called. Cheng, have you booked your flight? Please tell me your flight number and I will pick you up at the airport. Duo, I haven't booked a flight yet. I feel like this is a bit unreliable. With your girlfriend and me around, there's nothing unreliable. Don't worry, come on. Book your flight this afternoon. Don't forget, I'm busy. Duo, I haven't finished speaking yet, the phone has already been dropped. Hey. What should we do? I spent the whole afternoon thinking about this matter, which made me restless and didn't have the energy to do anything. At 8:30 p.m., Duo arrived as scheduled and sent a WeChat video. She changed into a new set of pajamas today, not only thin as cicada wings, but also low-cut with suspenders. She still just came out of the shower, wiped her hair with a towel, and was constantly combing with a wooden comb. "Ah, Cheng, have you booked your flight yet?" I was momentarily speechless. "You haven't made a decision yet." "Why haven't you made a decision yet?" "I finally bought you the opportunity, but if you miss it, you don't know when it will be. You don't have the money to buy a plane ticket, do you?" "Look at me, I forgot you were a great god. I'll transfer the ticket money to you now, you can pick it up. Don't forget to fill out the itinerary when getting off the plane. I will seek reimbursement from the finance department." Duo, it's not that I don't have the money to buy a plane ticket, it's just. Before I could finish speaking, a sudden crash came from WeChat, and I knew that Duo had already transferred the money. On closer inspection, it's 5,000 yuan. Duo, it's not that I don't have the money to buy a plane ticket, nor am I reluctant to spend the money on it, but I feel that this matter is unreliable. So you think I'm lying to you? Alright, even if your job isn't reliable, you can come and see your girlfriend after all. Look at this, you still don't consider me your girlfriend. Alright, since that's the case, let's break up. Duo said and hung up the WeChat video. My heart pounded and I felt a deep pain, so I quickly initiated a new call request. She hung up, sent again, and was hung up again. This continues continuously for dozens of times. Just as I was feeling disheartened and about to give up, Duo suddenly connected to the video. The blossoming in the video has been crying like a pear blossom with rain, constantly sobbing. Didn't we break up? What are you still asking me for? Don't you believe me? What are you asking me for? Woo. Duo, I'm sorry, I promise you, I'll go right away and buy a plane ticket. Every cry of Duo tugs at my heart. I really can't care so much anymore, even if it means risking everything. Duo is my girlfriend. Not to mention whether her work is reliable or not, but to mention that she is in a difficult situation at work, it is my duty as her boyfriend to help. Besides, this is just an interview, and they are still talking about whether to hire or not. It's really unfounded. If you find any abnormalities in your work there, it's over if you don't start working. Thinking of this, I feel much relieved. Really? You're not trying to coax me, are you? Duo listened to my promise and immediately burst into laughter. Of course I didn't lie to you. I'll book my plane ticket right away, but you have to promise me one thing. What's going on? First, pull down your clothes and take a look at the one inside. Then, when you arrive in Yunnan, help me repair the car. I pointed to the collar of her pajamas and looked at her in various colors. You stinky thug, you stinky Cheng, I'm ignoring you. Although Duo cursed in her mouth, a smile bloomed on her face. It seems that going to Yunnan to repair a car this time is a show. The scenes from the small movie began to constantly come to mind in my mind.